This week, BP Pulse had a ribbon-cutting ceremony for their O'Hare Airport GigaHub. Ionna dropped prices to 39 cents for the holidays. And Tesla moved the edge of the envelope by opening a station in Fairbanks, Alaska. Let's get into it. I'm here at the Concord, North Carolina Ionna Rechargery relay. Now that the canopy's in, I'll take you for a walk around the Rechargery after the update, since it's a pretty slow news week, and we'll get to show you what Ionna Rechargery relays have to offer. Starting off with Tesla's week progress, they opened, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stations, but the most notable is the one in Fairbanks. And if people will remember, last week I mentioned how they opened a station in Anchorage, Alaska, which is in the southern portion of the state, but Fairbanks is right smack dab in the middle. And from what I understand from reports, this is the Tesla supercharger station in North America that is the furthest north. Now, I'm not sure if it's the furthest north in the entire planet, because they obviously have Scandinavia pretty well built out, and Scandinavia goes all the way up to the Arctic Circle, so I'm not sure. But I know in North America, this is the furthest north Tesla supercharger station. So definitely filling in some dark places of the map this week. Additionally, there's another station in Alaska in, let's see how to pronounce it, Nenana, Nenana, I believe is how it's pronounced, Alaska. South Lake Tahoe, Melbourne, Florida, had a 20-stall station. Richmond Hills, Georgia, which is a good station to stop at if you're going up and down Interstate 95 going to Florida trying to escape the cold. El Paso, Texas, and Hillsboro, Texas, at a Buc-ee's, got a 24-stall station that looks to have Magic Dock, according to the entry in the Alternative Fuels Data Center database. As I mentioned at the start, BP Pulse had a ribbon-cutting ceremony at their GigaHub in Chicago outside O'Hare Airport. They also had a soft opening day where they offered 1 cent per kilowatt hour pricing. I spoke with someone who attended the second event. Let's go to that conversation now. I'm here with Darren Orange, a person who I've crossed paths with multiple times. He's one of these OG EV owners. He's been around for a good long while in the EV community. He said, Bolt, we'll get to that in just a second. But Darren, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. It's gotten warmer today, but a little bit rainy.
I was gonna ask. I heard that the temp in Chi-Town fell off a cliff there for a little bit.
Yeah, we're in the 40s, which is shocking almost, and it's raining, so it's melted all the snow. So
hey,
I'll take
a little
it.
break. Yeah, I heard November was really sucky. It's kind of funny. I was born and raised in the north part of Chicago, and being a Southerner most of my life now, I always make fun of the Southerners when they react to cold weather. We would dip to 16 degrees here in Charlotte, right? But it was at 4 o'clock in the morning, and it only lasted like half a day. And then it, like today, was back up into the 60s. It was like silly. And so, I don't know. I just don't have respect for Southern cold. It's
it just stays 10 all day long for us. We just suffer, basically.
Yeah, 16 is a high temperature, not a low temperature, typically. But sir, you were able to participate in a very exciting event. BP Pulse has been opening GigaHubs like they are going out of style. They've done some in California, quite a few in Houston, actually. They've got 2 open and 2 more on the books, getting ready to get flipped. And Chicago O'Hare, right in the middle of the country. And I understand they did a ribbon cutting either the day before or the day after with some ceremony with higher ups. I don't know, some kind of elected officials. I'm not sure the exact details. But today was the one that you attended was the feel free to come over and charge for a penny event. And by all accounts, it was well attended.
The weather wasn't ideal today to show up, but to be fair, it was a little bit rainy, a little bit cold. I do think that in general that the location's good. That's definitely a unique spot. There could have been more people if it hadn't been the fact it was cold and rainy, I guess. But all that being said as well, it's not in navigation yet. Trying to get there, I had to I picked the supercharger, which we'll talk about, is right next to it, ironically. But the reality is that it's right there off the highway. It's in a decent location. It feels safe and comfortable. It's just that the best part of the day, I can tell you that they had the overhangs, right, the coverings for most of the chargers. So when it was raining and nasty today, they nailed that. So there's major benefits to that. Today was a highlight in why that's beneficial for a charger. So
Yeah, definitely added cost, but I guess it gives them, as you say, a little bit of distinction to their neighbors. To the let's see, it would be to the south, because Tesla Supercharger is just to the south, as I
just the
understand.
sun. Yep.
And big
It's in the
station
same
over
parking
there.
lot. Yeah.
Oh, okay, geez.
You can
Share
drive
this
right
thing
to
like
it or right
that.
from it. Yeah, they're in the same parking lot. They connect. So it's clear there's a lot of power going to that area right now.
Yeah. Commonwealth Edison has definitely got their work cut out for them in this little neck of the woods. But sir, the BB Pulse team has kind of got this process down of opening gigahubs, because there are other stations they don't do any pomp or circumstance to, but the gigahubs, typically they send a crew out and they have these 1 cent deals. What kind of charging experience did you have? So it's nice to have some splash in the pan canopies and large numbers of chargers, but what was your actual charging experience, if I could ask?
So the biggest thing I want to say, is that the actual credit card readers worked. At
Hmm.
least as far as I could tell. So the first test I did was with the lower powered chargers you're seeing right here. They worked immediately. I used the adapter that I have a Tesla. I took my wife's Tesla Model Y over to it. And it worked immediately. There's no issues, no problems. The weird part about it that I dealt with was the cables are just so heavy, and even for the
Hmm.
lower power chargers. So where I actually thought the charger didn't unlock itself, but it was just the heavy weight of the cable causing it to feel like it wasn't unlocked, which is awkward. But they charged, they worked. The time it took to like start charging, so like the whole like handshake and all that was very quick on these. The one you're showing right now, very, very fast. Probably 15, 18 seconds. So for a public charger, to me, that's very quick when it's not a Tesla, I guess. So that was fast. Big fan of the handle choice here. I think that was a good. The cables are just way too heavy, though. My only complaints, like they're just insanely beefy for the 125 that these ones were doing. Now, the other ones were like 400 kilowatt chargers, and that made sense, but they were lighter. So the next cords were lighter than the other cords. I didn't understand that at all. But either way, the fact that it was raining today, the overhangs were hugely beneficial. Clearly a thing that we need, even if they're not this beefy, because I feel like these are some beefy overhangs. Just, a shade would be nice for when it's raining like this.
It feels kind of unnatural to be charging underneath the canopy nowadays. Normally, I'm used to looking sadly at the gas pumps, people underneath the canopy while I'm out there underneath an umbrella or something silly like that. But yeah, close to O'Hare Airport and right off the interchanges, as you say. Is that the Kennedy Expressway that goes into O'Hare right there,
There's a
or?
lot going on there. I couldn't give you all the interchanges, but basically it's basically a hub area. There's literally this location now, there's that large supercharger, and there's additional version 2 supercharger just across the block actually. There's a lot going on here power-wise. So they think it's a hub. It's being used a lot. I think this will get used a lot, especially for rideshare purposes. I feel like that's going to be the bread and butter of this location, because that's a lot of what O'Hare's driving, and there needs to be another supporting solution for that. I think this will do that most likely. I don't know whether people are going to go here or go to superchargers or go to V2s. The V2s are always full, but they're cheaper. But they're slower. So
Oh, I didn't know
it's
that.
weird. Yeah. The V2s
Okay.
are often cheaper. At least here they're cheaper. That's why they're always full here. That's why across the street, the version 3.5s aren't full, but the cheaper ones are full. And then this, if it can compete price wise, I imagine it'll be full as well, quite simply.
Yeah, when I was a Tesla owner and it was a 2019 Model 3 that I had, I never minded about the throughput. So for me, the whole, trying to get the fastest amount of speed was, and even today, I don't really kind of push the envelope as far as how fast I want to get off a property. Normally, when I post up, I'm ready to stretch my legs anyway. So I'll, V2 at a lower price is definitely going to be my choice. And I forgot to mention, sir, can you give some background on your EV history here, just to introduce yourself to the audience? I know you've been on other conversations we've had at other channels, but not here on Out of Spec Bits.
Yeah, I've been through the wonderful experience of having a Chevy Bolt EV, and my wife and I, we drove it from Chicago to Denver and back in 2020 before there was much of infrastructure. My original intent was to have that as a vehicle for work. I now work 100% remote, and then transitioned from that car. I got bought back by GM and bought a 2019 Model 3 Performance that we still have now. We've driven that from here to or from Chicago to Orlando and back now 3 times, and
So
my wife's Model Y is taking over now at this point. So
the 19 has FSD or only the Y?
they both have FSD. My
okay.
car owns it, so the 3 has it. There's no monthly charge. We're paying monthly for the Model Y at the moment. So
yeah, that's one thing that we had conversations about in the past was the FSD trip to Florida and how you were able to basically just do hands off all the way from Chicago to Florida with very few interventions necessary. And it was definitely a curiosity of mine. I'm trying to figure out how to be cool like that, but the price tag with the monthly charge might be an option. I've also been thinking of renting one, and I don't know if you could get a monthly add-on. Just like if you're going on a long trip, it almost seems to make sense to rent a Tesla from a Hertz or something, and then see if you can't throw a monthly subscription on a rental just for a long trip, and then pull it or something.
Yeah, we're about to do another trip. We're about to go from Chicago to Cocoa Beach or to Orlando again in about a week. And we'll have my wife's Model Y with the newest version 14 software, whatever that is at that time. Right now, we're on the latest version. And my theory is that we will literally do almost 100% of the driving will be on full self-driving, even charger to charger now, right? Park itself right there. I mean, it literally, so speaking of that, I did use full self-driving pulling into this new BP location, and it literally was going to park itself in a charging spot at this BP location, even though it didn't know it existed. I said pick a charger. It could see the chargers, drove past the fuel pumps and stuff like that, drove around and did park itself actually. I tweaked it a little bit because the markers aren't exactly right, but it knew they were chargers. So in Tesla, it just pulls into a spot now perfectly. This was almost dead on, but I could see it working, but it can see the chargers. So if you're saying, could it go from A to B even with public, that it's not Tesla, I guess we're going to call it that way, then yes, it could do that for sure. So
yeah, it's really amazing. I even saw a video recently where someone on 13 was able to back into a Tesla's supercharger station completely without intervention. It's just truly amazing what's going on nowadays. It's absolutely fascinating. Well, sir, much appreciated for coming on and sharing your experience with this very exciting event. The Chi-Town folk who are headed into winter now have both the large Tesla supercharger station there and now a BP Pulse open and activated. Did you go to the convenience store also? I understand.
No, I did not. I learned the experiences. My daughter was with me, and I didn't have time to spend too much time there. Just wanted to confirm, hey, it's working. People were cool. It's a safe location.
Near the airport, I'm sure you'll probably frequent it once or twice, not again in the future. I mean,
it's very possible. Yeah.
Well, Darren, much appreciated for coming on to Out of Spec Bits and sharing your experience with us, sir.
Hey, thank you, Walter.
Thanks, Darren, for bringing this exciting opening day event to us. Definitely worth noting such a large station getting opening right outside O'Hare Airport. And congratulations to the BP Pulse team for opening this very beautiful looking signature station. Ionna opened multiple rechargeries this week. Their media event had mentioned that they're still pushing to complete 100 rechargeries by the end of the year, and this is the last weekend before we hit the holiday skid, and they're at 62. So I think it's fair to say they're not going to make it. Maybe they'll have the stations mechanically ready but not energized or something. I'm not exactly sure. But this week they opened 4: Parkville, Missouri; Vernon Hills, Illinois; Gallup, New Mexico; and Fenton, Missouri. The Fenton, Missouri location is kind of interesting because it's at a Wally's where there's an existing Tesla supercharger underneath a canopy that used to be occupied, from what I understand, from a Francis a Francis charging station, and they basically reoccupied that same space for their chargers and opened it up. So Fenton seems to have a good amount of charging infrastructure built into it. Additionally, they posted into social media that starting on December 18th, they're going to be dropping the price across their entire network of, as I mentioned, 62 stations to 39 cents per kilowatt hour. And they say it's going to stay that way through the holidays. They didn't specifically mention the date that it's going to end, but I assume that will end in January. So if you're out and about and happen to cross past a Ionna Rechargery, you can rest assured that the price will be moderate at 39 cents per kilowatt hour. Next, Walmart Energy did a year in review and goals for 2026 post into social media. Adam Harpel, the general manager of commercial GTM and operations for retail public EV charging, is the one who posted it. Previously, he was the vice president, head of growth at EVgo. So he's definitely a charging industry insider. These are some of the goals that they completed in 2025. I'm just going to go over these very quickly. They developed a retail integrated customer-centric EV charging experience accessible via the Walmart app, already used by millions of Americans today. So the retail app integration for me is very significant. It's kind of a gloss over bullet point, but it's complicated when you have one of those apps that you want to add an integration to. It goes through a process called IT governance and DevSecOps processes typically. And it's a drawn out process. DevSecOps generally accelerates it to some extent. There's been introduction of new processes that increase the deployment cycle, decrease the time for deployment cycles. But they were able to do this integration with two different hardware vendors, Alpitronic and ABB, for a new product in a very short amount of time. So I think that is, I guess as a technologist, I'm most impressed with that integration completing as quickly as it did. Next, they said they launched 13 DC fast charger EV charging sites with ultra-fast 400 kilowatt chargers with over 100 connectors live today, many more to follow. They unlocked savings for our Walmart Plus members through a new EV charging benefit available in select geographies now, and amenities like trash cans and windshield washing stations, also in select geographies for now. So apparently that's going to be part of their mix going forward. Expanded our team to accelerate growth through partnerships, innovation, network scalability, and utility partnerships. So the team is doing a good job with building the business-to-business partnerships necessary to make an effort like this successful. Engage with thousands of store operators and associates, shared our team's vision with Walmart's annual year-beginning meeting and shareholders week. They also enhanced discoverability by surfacing real-time availability data on partner platforms like PlugShare, Google Maps, and others coming soon. So they're taking the customer experience part of their network build to heart. Everyone works to bring, this is a quote again, everyone works to bring this vision of a retail integrated fast charging network to life. Thank you. We're just getting started, so on to 2026. Additionally, ABB, one of their hardware partners, posted into social saying ABB, e-mobility, and Walmart Energy have taken the first steps towards creating one of the most accessible EV charging networks in the United States. The first of our flagship A400 chargers are now operational at Walmart locations in Queen Creek and Mesa, Arizona, delivering up to 400 kilowatts of power with CCS and NACS connectors, catering to nearly all EV models. This milestone marks the beginning of a nationwide partnership that will energize sites in more than a dozen states. In the Phoenix metro area alone, 7 Walmart locations will soon feature 28 of our A400 chargers, offering drivers unmatched reliability with 99% uptime, award-winning UI design, and seamless integration with the Walmart app. With more than 5,200 Walmart and Sam's Club's locations across the U.S. and 90% of the U.S. population within 10 miles, Walmart Energy is bringing high-speed charging to the places Americans already shop, making EV charging as convenient as a trip to the store in their local community. Together, we're accelerating the transition to electric mobility and raising the industry standard in the retail EV charging in the United States. So we definitely see Much to look forward to in 2026 with the Walmart EV charging network. Next, Electrify America opened 7 stations in the past week, which for them is definitely a spike in activity, including a 10-stall station at a Target in Glen Allen, Virginia, which is a very nice looking station. They say they're only going to be building 10 stalls or more going forward. So some of these other ones that are of smaller volume were in the pipeline prior to that announcement, I'm assuming. Additionally, they announced in a press release a new partnership with WS Development Partners, who operate strip malls, mostly. They also have, let me go through, where was it? The new Electrify America charging stations will roll out across 15 WS development properties beginning in early 2026. The shops at Blackstone Valley in Millbury, Massachusetts, Walmart Plaza in Salem, Massachusetts, the street Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, with installations across other properties in Massachusetts, New York, Florida, Illinois, and California to follow. The full list of properties to receive EV charging stations, along with the official launch dates, will be announced soon. And I believe this is not Electrify America putting in stations at these properties. I'm pretty sure this is WS Development doing Electrify America commercial builds on their properties, similar to the Evolve New York network and Rocky Mountain Power using Electrify America commercial to run stations. So I'm pretty sure this is an Electrify America commercial build. And I read through it a few times. It didn't really say that specifically, but the impression I get from the way it's worded is that is the case. So additional Electrify America partnership coming in 2026. Lastly, General Motors Energy, through their partnership with ChargePoint, helped CPO 060 open a 6-stall station at an In-N-Out Burger in Haywood, California. This partnership has been seeing a lot of activity in Q4, and it's nice to see the fast food chain getting chargers put right in front of their door. Quick service restaurant dwell times really pair well with DC fast charging, and hopefully we'll see similar builds as we push into 2026. Let's go take a look at the station really quick. I got the drone that will follow me and walk around and just very briefly show you what an Ionna Rechargery relay looks like. Okay, this is one of those drones that will follow me around. Let's just walk around the site a little bit. Now, one nice thing about this location that you'll see is there's 2 points of ingress and egress, both of which are double wide. So it's not like there's a single way in. There's flow. You can see the arrow lines here. There's flow coming in both directions. So as the site gets busy, which I'm sure it will, you can go in either one of the 2 directions, which is pretty cool. The canopies are installed, but the site is not open yet. I talked to the foreman who put up these canopies, and he was saying that it was going to be ready by Wednesday. And I think the canopies were completed on Wednesday of this week. But what I don't see are any lights. So I'm not sure if this location will not have lights or if those are coming later and it's a different crew, because they still have their rental equipment here on site. And I don't know if those are just waiting to be picked up or if they're going to be used by a second crew. But the station is still offline. We do have garbage cans, but we do not have squeegees, which is kind of interesting. And I don't know if it's because the site is not fully commissioned yet or what the plan is. But these, normally what we have at Ionna Station are garbage cans that have integrated windshield washing stations and garbage cans. But at this one, we do not. So I'm not quite sure why that is. This is actually the first Ionna Station I have seen that way. We do have sign posts indicating EV charging only and the characteristic Alpitronic hyperchargers. All new asphalt. And this is a big plot of land that they, I'm assuming, purchased because the sign out front before them coming here said for sale. So I'm guessing they are the owners of this property now. Transformer is a big boy. It's 2500 kVA, and this is the other point of ingress and egress going out to a strip mall that has a nice Japanese restaurant for people who are familiar with Concord. That's a good Japanese restaurant. They also have a nail spa, a pizza place, and then a little bit further down there's a Witch and another restaurant. There's a car wash in the adjoining property. So close by, there's a nice car wash. But really what we're here for is a Ionna charging station with all it has to offer with the canopies, the super fast Alpitronic hyperchargers, 16 stalls. They do have an accessible stall right over here. And the weather was pretty poor earlier this week, and I was kind of hoping to come by to shoot some video under a canopy just to show how nice it is to be able to be charging under a canopy. And you can see the Ionna canopy is not full, but it does cover the full area around the charger. So, job completed there. And nice landscaping. And all good in that respect. So basically that's what you get. You get kind of a premium feel. It's not like they're trying to shoehorn in a charging space into a parking lot and then you're butting up against other patrons of other areas. They have a whole plot of land that they purchased. They made the ingress and egress duplicated and double wide. They got canopies. They got 16 stalls split between J3400 NACS and CCS1. And garbage cans. So there's going to be someone coming around and servicing the place. Nice landscaping. And really nothing to complain about. I'm looking forward to this thing being completed with all the trimmings, likely in the next week or maybe two, considering the holidays. Anyway, I hope everyone is going to have a safe and enjoyable holiday. This is the last episode for 2025, and thank you very much for watching.